Good morning, children. Today I'm going to continue with the explanation of Chapter 8, Those Three Bears, written by Ruskin Bond. Now, before I could continue with the chapter, I would like to give you a short briefing of what we did in the previous class. Now, in the previous class, we have studied that the author went on sightseeing. He was trying to search for a pine marten when he came across a young bear. Now, this young bear was very curious. He wanted to know each and everything around his surroundings, and he was trying to do different types of tricks. So, meanwhile, the author just tried to observe what this bear is up to. So, this bear, when he saw that the author was not noticing him, what did he do was he went and fetched. He was very relaxed, he was very pleased, and he went and broke a plum from another branch of a tree. While doing this, the author, after looking at this trick of his, or after looking at his antics, the author could not stop himself from laughing. So this young bear, what happened was, he fell several feet down on a pile of dry leaves, and he made a squealing sound or a screeching sound and ran off to the forest. Now please pay attention while I continue with the explanation of the remaining chapter. Now this is the third incident when the author comes across a female adult bear. Okay. Another time my friend Prem told me a bear had been active in his cornfield. He took up a post at night in an old cattle field which gave a clear view of the moonlit field. Now, this is the third incident when the author came in very close contact to a female bear, a female adult bear, and this female adult bear was in search of food. So his friend invited him to a cornfield to come and keep a night watch so that this bear would not destroy the corns that was growing in the field. So they hold a post in an empty cattle shed. This was an old cattle shed where all the animals used to stay, and from that cattle shed the author as well as his friend could have a clear view of the cornfield, and moreover it was a moonlit night. It was bright. The light of the moon was quite very bright, due to which the entire cornfield was clearly visible, and even if the bear comes in, so the author and his friend can easily see the bear. A little after midnight, a female bear came down on the edge of the field. She seemed to sense that we had been about. Then a little before midnight, before 12 o'clock in the night, a female bear came to the field. But this female bear sensed that there are people already over there observing or looking or searching. She sensed that there is someone in the field who's trying to observe or watch her. She was hungry, however, so after standing on her hind legs and peering around to make sure the field was empty, she came cautiously out of the forest. Now, as this female young bear was very hungry, as we have studied earlier also, when the high range or the mountain ranges are covered with snow, so these bears usually come down in search of food or forage of food to the village and valleys. So for that reason, this female young bear was very hungry. So what did she do was, she was very carefully, she stood on her hind legs and she was trying to see if there is anyone around. She was just inspecting the place to make sure that there is no people who is seeing her or observing her while she is eating the corn or having the corns from the corn field. Okay, peering around means to look carefully. She was looking carefully as if there is no human beings or no any other movements in the cornfield. And once she was satisfied that the cornfield was empty and there is no human beings and no any other animals or any other kind of movement, then she cautiously went out. She came out of the forest. Then cautiously means carefully. After looking each and every way and very carefully, she was observing each and every path or the trail or every step of hers while she was entering into the cornfield. Her attention was soon distracted by some Tibetan flags which had been strung between two trees. Then her attention, now this bird's attention was distracted. Okay, here her attention was drawn to what? To those Tibetan flags. Usually in the mountain areas they have lots of flags being put, Tibetan flags. The Buddhist monks, they put different types of flags, and these flags, when the wind blows, they make a fluttering sound. Okay, her attention, and they are quite bright in color also, as it was a moonlight, so her attention was distracted. Her attention was completely on the flag, and now she wanted to inspect what was that flag. As I told you, as bears are short sighted, they can attack anyone at any time, so they do not trust anyone. Earlier also we know that as bears are short sighted, they cannot see clearly very far, due to which they do not trust anyone and they are ready to attack. So her curiosity arose to inquire what that Tibetan flag is. She was interested in knowing from where is that flattering sound and what is that is attracting her. Okay. She grunted and backed away. Now when she saw these Tibetan flags and the fluttering sound, when she heard the fluttering sound and this Tibetan flag, she grunted. She was scared. She wanted to inspect it. Then she backed away. She went back again. Then after a little while, when she found that these flags are not any harm for her or cannot do any harm for her, then she came. So she was quite puzzled. She was very confused. This female bear was very confused. So she wanted to inquire and she wanted to make sure that if she is entering into the cornfield or if she is entering into the village, is it safe for her to enter or not. So she was very puzzled. She wanted to solve the puzzle. Now she wanted to solve this puzzle. So what did this bear do was, she went and she started inspecting the flag. She was looking at the flag. She sniffed it. Maybe she touched it with her hands, with her claws. And maybe she might have, after finding that it's not danger for her, after she sensed that it's not a danger for her or no harm can be done to her, then what did she do? She did what? She stopped and watched, and then she broke that flag and she went forward into the cornfield. Soon the bear advanced within a few feet of the flags, examining them from various angles. So she started examining this flag from various angles. She found that this flag is no harm to her and will not harm her. So after examining it and after carefully observing that flag, then she came into the cornfield. Then seeing that they pose no danger, means seeing that these flags are no danger to her, will not harm her, so she entered into the cornfield. When she went right up to the flag and pulled down and moved into the field of the corns. Prem had decided that he didn't want to lose any more of his corns, so he started shouting. Now the author's friend Prem, he decided that he never wanted to lose any more of his corn. He now wanted his cornfield, his corn crops to go to waste. So what did he do was, he now wanted the bear to destroy his field, destroy his cornfield. So what did he do was, he started shouting loudly. Now this Prem, the author's friend, he saw that the bear is just destroying his cornfield and he has had enough, because he cannot afford to see the bear completely destroy his cornfield. So he began to shout. He started making different types of noise and shouting and yelling at the bear, so that the bear would run off would leave the cornfield and go into the forest. His children woke up and soon came running from their house, banging on empty kerosene. Now when Prem's children heard the father screaming and yelling and shouting at the bears, they knew at once they knew that the bear has entered the cornfield. So what did Prem's children do? They took out empty kerosene tins. They took out empty kerosene tins and they started banging those tins. They started striking at those tins, and the noise that was there, this made it. They started frightening the bear now. Now, after hearing the tins noise, the bear got frightened. The bear was very frightened. After hearing the noise, tins noise, the bear got distracted. She was very frightened, and what did she do was she left the cornfield and she ran into the forest. Deprived of her dinner, the bear made off in a bad temper. Now, deprived of her dinner, the bear was not allowed to eat any corn from the cornfield. So the bear was not allowed to eat any corn from the cornfield. So the bear was very angry. She was deprived of her dinner. She was scared, and as the Prem and his children began to strike the kerosene tin, the bear got frightened and she left the cornfield and she ran off for her life. She wanted to save herself. She never wanted any harm to come upon her. For that reason, she left the cornfield and she ran into the forest. So this made the bear very angry. She was very angry because she couldn't eat any corns. Moreover, she was very hungry also. So she was deprived of her food. Now, what was her food? She came actually for the corns, to eat those corns as she was hungry, but she couldn't eat them because Prem and his children chased away the bear by making different types of sounds and noise, and the bear got scared. She ran downhill at a good speed, and I was glad that I was not in her way. Then the author saw that whether it's a bear, whether it runs uphill or downhill. So she started. Now the bear was running downhill, and she ran at a very good speed. She had a very good speed. She could control her body, and she was moving in a very good speed. She was already very angry. Now, the reason for the bear to be angry was she was deprived from eating the corns, so she was very angry. So at that time, the author thought to himself, whether a bear runs uphill or downhill, they are still very dangerous. They can attack human beings anytime. So uphill or downhill, an angry bear is best given a path wide. Means whether it's uphill or a downhill, if you are attacked or chased by a bear, or if you see a bear running uphill or downhill, and if that bear is angry, it's best not to come in its path. It's best to keep far from its way. This is the story all about. Children, I want you to read the chapter. Do the word meanings. Until then, thank you.